everyone, I'm Casca and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'll be making a late Victorian shirtwaist. This is the third part in my series on making a Giger's alien-inspired 1890s walking suit. If you missed the first two videos, I will link them down in the description. This is the general idea I've got for the walking suit. I'm going to be going for historical adequacy for this project, since there's some quite distinctive forms and patterns in Giger's work that in order to incorporate them into my project I'll have to veer away from historical accuracy just a little bit. I'm thinking the best way to achieve the look of Giger's work is going to be by using pleats and folds. I think this should give that organic feel that his work has. For the shirtwaist, I'll be using a pattern from Truly Victorian. I'll then be altering it to include horizontal stripes down the front. This will be to give the look of the Queen Alien's neck. Right, I think it's time for a mock-up. I started off by taping my pattern pieces together. In my previous videos I've commented on the sheer size of a lot of these patterns, and the shirtwaist turns out to be no exception, because this is the sleeve. It's bigger than me. True, I've not cut it down to my size, but still. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to use a pattern from my Authentic Victorian Fashion Patterns book, which is a bit smaller, because I think if I do it the full size, I'm not actually going to be able to get my arm into the jacket. So yeah, I think this is going to need some alterations made. I used some leftover muslin to make my mock-up. I also drafted a new sleeve pattern. Okay, so corset is on, and fit-wise I don't think it's too bad. I've made a few mistakes, because of course I have. You may have noticed that I set the sleeves in inside out. There's also a weird fit thing. I'm not entirely sure why this is happening. The elbow seems to be like right, but I don't really get why it's twisting like this. I might have to ask for some advice. It might be that I've kind of set it in the wrong place. They're also a little bit too short, so I will have to add a bit of length to the sleeves. But the actual shirtwaist itself, like the bodice part, that fits quite nicely. It's also not too tight around my neck, which I hate, like having a feeling like I'm choking. Good side, yeah, the waistline is in the correct place on me, which is always a bonus. And I can't actually see the back properly, but there we go. Yeah, that's not too bad at all. I quite like the shape of that. I can move, I've got some room in my shoulders. And I think the poofiness of these sleeves is okay. They were the ones on the original pattern, it was just a bit too much for me. Like this, I could conceivably like actually wear out, but yeah. Next stop, finding out what is going on with these sleeves. It is entirely possible that I have put them on backwards, because that is exactly the kind of thing that I would do. Not 100% sure though, it is possible. There is one way to find out if I have possibly put them on backwards. I put them on backwards. Okay, so I've cut myself out a new copy of the front bodice piece, and I've divided that up so that we've got this strip which is going to be for the buttons, this bit which is going to have the pleats on, and then this bit. I've also added a 1/2 inch seam allowance on each of these. The only bit that's concerning me is this area here, because this is supposed to be gathered. I'm wondering if maybe, because I do have some room here, thinking my best bet is going to be to essentially move this dot over to here, so have all of this area up to about here gathered and leave this bit not gathered. I cut my pattern pieces out of a cotton mix fabric. I then pleated a wide strip. I thought it would be easier to do the pleat work first and then cut that section out, rather than trying to work out the pleats afterwards. Next I stitched the upper bodice sections together. For the collar, I stitched along the long edge, clipped my edges and turned it right side out. I then added some iron-on interfacing and attached the collar stand. This was then sewn to the neckline. I attached the waistband to the upper bodice, easing it into place with some ruffles. The peplum was also ruffled up and attached to the lower part of the waistband. The waistband was finished by hand before a simple hem was added to the peplum. Finally, the arm was attached with a ruffle at the top. Okay, so this ended up being one of the most complicated things I've ever made. Eyeballing the pleats, probably not the best idea. They don't quite line up, and I know it's not a major thing, but it is a tad annoying, especially for somebody who likes symmetry. I seem to be having a lot of trouble lining things up at the moment. That seems to be my thing. I ended up putting the sleeves in about 5 times because I tried to do a French seam but kept getting confused and doing them inside out. Even though I have done a mock-up, I still managed to get confused by the collar, and the inside of this thing, just don't even go there. Despite all this, I do really like it though. It fits really well and I do feel it looks the part. I think the sleeves have got the right amount of poofiness to them, and I like the shape it gives me at the waist. I also like the look of the pleats at the front. I think it gives that Giga-esque feel I was looking for. And I think it actually looks kind of wearable, maybe? I think I'd definitely use this pattern again for another project. The issues I was having were mainly to do with the alterations that I'd made and not the pattern itself. So, it's a bit rough and ready, but I think it's been a sort of success, and it'll work for the project. For my next video, I'll be making a walking skirt, which will hopefully show this off a bit better too. If you enjoyed this video and fancy giving it a like, it would be very much appreciated. I'm always open to your suggestions and constructive criticisms, so anything you'd like to see, let me know in the comments. If you'd like to see more videos of me trying to make things, then why not subscribe and hit that bell so you can be notified the next time I upload a video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.